Hey, Jackie. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Meal Prep Monday. This is Liz Barnett tuning in from my kitchen post hot yoga, so I'm all kind of zenned out at the moment. So I'm a fitness and food coach based in New York City, northern New Jersey. Hi, Metin or Metin. Welcome. And hi, everybody. So I was just saying, my name's Liz Barnett. I'm a fitness and food coach based in New York City. And tonight we're going to be talking about cooking and fat and healthy fats and which ones are healthy and why and all that good stuff. Hey, everybody. So make sure if you have specific questions about, fats in terms of the macronutrient group, meaning, olive oil, avocado, that kind of stuff, coconut, we'll be talking about all those things. That's kind of the topic today, less than, and how it goes into how it relates to cooking versus just fats in general. So I posted on Instagram a little bit earlier a couple of my favorite fats to work with, and we'll grab those so you can see them. So here we have OM-ghee. Oh, I'm sorry you don't like my hair, friend. I just came from hot yoga, so too bad, so sad. Anyway, this is OM-ghee. It is ghee, which is clarified butter. So if you're vegan, this is probably not going to be an issue for you, or an option for you, rather. Now, this is actually really popular right now in paleo circles and certain different health trends, but this is a very, very old product, ghee. So ghee is very popular in traditional Indian cooking, and the reason it's called clarified butter, or what it makes what it is that you take butter and you heat it up to cook off all the milk solids. So although it's not vegan, it is suitable for people who are lactose intolerant for the most part, because they don't have any of those milk proteins left. So this is derived from butter. It does have a buttery taste. It's also filled with, you see that gorgeous color? That means it's full of really high different nutrients that you're getting. This ghee in particular is from grass-fed cows, so that's why you're going to get all those great nutrients there. So I'll talk about them briefly and then kind of go over the differences of when you would use them. So this is ghee. I have this big bottle here of, thank you, of Casandrino's olive oil. It's extra virgin olive oil. And I don't know if you can see the front there, but it says cold extraction. So this is a small family company that does really great work, and they choose the best olives they possibly can, and they cold press the olive oil, and that's really important. Cold pressing in any, way, shape, or form when you're talking about fats, you could be talking about olives or, avocado or grapeseed or anything like that, basically means they're manually crushing the item and extracting the oil that way. So that's kind of the oldest method. It's really effective. The problem is it leaves it what's called unrefined. So it's only a problem in that makes the smoke point of this oil a little bit lower, that we'll talk about. But extra virgin olive oil is definitely going to be the healthiest because they're not refining it, which we'll talk about again. So we just talked about ghee, olive oil, and then finally raw extra virgin coconut oil. So this is really popular right now with a variety of health circles. It is vegan, as is olive oil, so if that's a concern for you, great. If you like the taste of coconut, fantastic. It's also really high in certain nutrients, particularly medium chain triglycerides, or MCT. You might have heard of MCT oil as a supplement, so that has some great positive aspects of it as well. So we're talking about basically using these three different kinds of oils just to kind of give us a place to start off from. So in terms of cooking, what's the healthiest oil? I don't know if you guys have any comments in terms of what you prefer to cook with and why. For a long time, olive oil has been purported to be like the cooking oil, right? The Mediterranean diet, all that stuff, which is super healthy, and olive oil is very good for you. But my question that I'm posing is it the best oil to cook with? So I was talking a little bit earlier about olive oil and how the best version is extra virgin. Best version is extra virgin, and that would mean it's unrefined. That means there's been no chemical processing. So what happens sometimes with these refined oils, like vegetable oil, canola oil, which, by the way, don't know if you realize there's no such thing as a canola plant. Canola is actually an acronym. It's CANOLA, and it's a combination of rapeseed oil. Anyway, that's a whole nother topic. But canola oil is not healthy, and neither is vegetable oil. So extra virgin olive oil, well, thank you. Extra virgin olive oil is super high in various antioxidants, which is great and healthy. But when you have something that's high in antioxidants, those are very fragile. So when you expose them to heat, they can break down. It can make the oil rancid, and also can, you know, expose your body to things that you don't want it to. So olive oil is not necessarily the best oil to cook with. So olive oil is great if you're making like a salad dressing, or if you're going to drizzle something, or maybe you made some steamed vegetables and you're going to drizzle them with oil and vinegar or lemon juice or something at the end. That's kind of the best use for olive oil. Extra virgin is definitely the healthiest version of olive oil, but again, you're not going to want to cook with it. That's because it has a low smoke point. So the smoke point in terms of any sort of fat or oil is when that particular fat is going to start to give off smoke. So sometimes maybe you've been preheating something and left the stove on and walked away, and then all of a sudden there's smoke going. Yeah, so you've reached the smoke point. And olive oil, or extra virgin olive oil's smoke point is about 325 degrees Fahrenheit up to 375, so somewhere in that range, which is not that high. Coconut oil, on the other hand, has a higher smoke point. That's about 350 and above, again, depending on, you know, the... Sorry, I'm using a new tripod here, depending on the brand and a few other things. So coconut oil is also, you can find it in a virgin or unrefined version, and that's going to be the healthiest. But the reason its smoke point is higher is because it's made up of medium chain triglycerides. So this is a lot of science stuff, but the nuts and bolts of it is medium chain triglycerides don't break down as quickly when you're cooking them, so that's why the smoke point is going to be a little bit higher. For health benefits, medium chain triglycerides give you like long sustained energy. So that's why a lot of people will add coconut oil to their smoothies or even in their coffee, because that fat is going to be processed at a slower rate. So it's going to help you stay fuller longer and help you have more energy. So on the scale of things to cook with, again, olive oil and seed oils, you pretty much don't want to cook with those. You want to use those more for things like drizzling on salads and on finished dishes and things like that. Coconut oil is another great option because it does have a higher smoke point and it's full of medium chain triglycerides. It does taste like coconut. So I wouldn't make, I don't know, say an Italian dish with coconut oil because you're going to get a little bit of that flavor. I tend to make things that are more, you know, Asian or Caribbean or even Latin American. I'll use coconut oil with because it does tend to complement the flavor as well. So we have our coconut oil and we have our olive oil. And then I started off talking about ghee, which some people were not so excited about, but I love this product. This is probably the product I use the most, ghee in terms of cooking, but specifically this great brand Ghee butter. It's made from milk from grass-fed cows, and the company's done a really great job. I have no affiliation with them other than I think they're awesome, that they do a really great job sourcing the materials for this. So ghee has the highest smoke point of all the different oils we talked about. It's about 450 degrees. So that means you could bake and fry and roast and all those good things with ghee. It also tastes a little bit like butter, even better depending on which batch you're working with. So it has a really nice flavor if that's something that you enjoy. And again, because the milk solids have been cooked off, if you're lactose intolerant, this is an appropriate option. If you're vegan, it's not an appropriate option because it does come from milk. But I've heard from a lot of people that, you know, ghee has really helped different health issues that they've had. It's used in Ayurvedic medicine, the traditional Indian medicine, and in cooking for all sorts of things. So it actually has medicinal purposes, you know, if that's your belief system or the system that you follow. So, you know, I'm kind of the thought process that, you know, if people have been using this for thousands of years, they have a slightly better, you know, idea of its benefits than something that maybe just started popping up like the hottest new thing to cook with. So when I cook with anything high heat, I'm going to use ghee or ghee and coconut oil. For my things like salads and dressings, I'll use olive oil, and things that I don't want to heat, that's when you would use olive oil. So just talking a little bit more about the benefits of these oils, you know, all fats are made up of different essential fatty acids. So you also do want to vary the types of oils you use because some of them are higher in things like monounsaturated fat, which you've probably heard of. It's in things like olive oil and avocado, especially nuts and seeds, polyunsaturated fat. And so those are two types of unsaturated fat, which is what you know, kind of common health fitness blogs, newsletters, magazines really purport to be the healthiest ones for you. But there's a lot of research that saturated fat is not as bad for you as people think, especially in forms like coconut oil. It does, it's really important because your brain is made up of a significant portion of saturated fat. So in order to keep your brain functioning optimally, you do want to have saturated fat and other types of fat as well. I'm not suggesting how much of each type. That's something that you have to figure out on your own. It has a lot to do with your diet, your lifestyle, your ancestry, all that stuff. So you're going to have to do a little bit more research to see what's most appropriate for you. But again, it is important to get a variety of those fats. For anybody who might be a little hesitant, or maybe you have tried to cook low fat, again, it depends on person to person, but I will just mention that fat plays an important role in both satiety and satiation. So those are two different things, but you know, they have to do with feeling full, hi there, feeling full while you're eating and then after eating, and kind of how long you'll be hungry again. So they both have to do with cues, so what the food looks like. I'm doing well, how are you? So in terms of satiety and satiation, you know, what the food looks like. Does it, you know, volume wise, does it look like it's a lot of food, or do you look like you have a scanty little plate? It also has to do with things like smells and spices and different tastes, and texture of food. So fat, you know, gives food nice texture. It makes it taste good, and it makes it oftentimes creamy or even crunchy, or just depends on the way you're using it. I'm Liz, how are you? You know, fat does play an important role in not only the nutritional aspect of eating, but also the experience. So if you've been dieting and you've been really cutting on calories and cutting fat, I encourage you to maybe just look a little bit deeper into your diet and see if there's maybe ways that you can incorporate some of these healthy fats that we talked about, like olive oil, coconut oil, or ghee. Again, avocado's great, nuts and seeds are great, but the variety is key. So if you're cooking everything in olive oil, you might want to try to mix it up a little bit. If you have an addiction to coconut butter, like some of my friends do, again, you might want to change that up and make sure you have a little bit more variety in your diet. And just when it comes to cooking, you want to be aware of the smoke points of the oils that you're using, because that does change the nutritional composition of what you're eating. So it could make a very healthy food less healthy because you're creating basically oxidation, not so great for your cells. So I encourage you to do a little bit more research into these different kinds of oils and how you incorporate them into your diet. If you guys have any other questions, I'm going to be tuning off, but you can find me on Instagram at Liz Barnett, LIZBARNET, also on Twitter. And chocolate, yeah, that's a problem. You can also find me on my website. It's lizbarnett.com. Thanks, guys, again for tuning in. I'll see you on Wellness Wednesday, and have a great rest of your night.